get them down here and flip them into another car, that I used to be pretty good at it. I know you were too, but it doesn't work anymore. Consumers have more knowledge and more information than ever before. And if we don't come alongside of them to help them decide what vehicle is right for them and ensure them that the right vehicle, we have it for you, it's here, it'll be sitting out front with gas in it, cleaned up, ready for you to take a test drive to make sure it is the car for you.
Hey, what's going on, Podcast Nation? It's Jason Harris here, and thank you for joining me on another episode of The Drive. I am here in sunny Las Vegas with the one, the only, the oh-so-famous, he paid me to say it. I'm just kidding. I got Doug with ACV. Doug, what's going on, man?
Hey, Jason. That was good, man. I'm doing better now that I'm hanging out with you, cruising the vet in Vegas, headed for the boulevard.
I will say, it could be hotter. Last week I was told it was like 114 degrees. So I'm kind of glad it's not that hot right now.
I live in Phoenix, so this is
this is coat weather.
This is a cooling trend right now. 95 is a cooling trend.
It's a cooling trend for us, right? Well, hey, Doug, I'm very excited you had the chance to come jam with me. I love doing these conversations. I love just kind of learning about people and just the companies and stuff like that. So Doug, we love kicking off these podcasts with a little origin story. Because I'm just fundamentally fascinated how in the world people just got into the business. So let's start there, Doug. How in the world did you get started in this crazy little world called the automotive industry?
Many years ago, more than I'd like to admit, I wanted to buy a car.
Sure.
But I was like 15, 16 years old and rode my bicycle up to Oxmoor Ford in Louisville, Kentucky.
Nice.
And I said I'd like to buy a car, and the salesman, I'll never forget, Mr. Black was his name. He said, "Do you have a job?" And I said, "No." He said, "Do you have cash?" I said, "Don't have that either." He says, "Then you can't buy a car." He says, "Without a money or a job, that's just not going to happen, son." I said, "Well, can you get me a job?" And he said, "Well, I don't know." So he walked me back to the service department, and about 20 minutes later, I walked out with a blue shirt with Bob on the shirt. And that was it. I started sweeping, and look, that 20 minutes later, I was driving a brand new 1976 Diamond Jubilee Edition Ford. I mean, I thought that was oh man.
Man, you made it.
I had made it. I enjoyed washing them and cleaning them out. I just thought it was great. And, fast forward, a few years later, give or take 20 years or so, I'm speaking at NIADA. It's an amazing, amazing business. And no matter how hard you try to get out, as you know.
Right? We were talking about that.
Once you're in for life.
Once it gets in your blood, it's just really hard to kind of get it out. But it is just a fun business. It's always ever changing. It's always evolving. There's always new challenges that are coming up. It's just, and especially right now. Like, I mean, dealers are being challenged, I think, now more than ever. Like I recently just got off of this tour of a bunch of events, and I got an opportunity to go into like 300 plus dealerships and like shake hands with people and talk to them. And there are some challenges out there. And I know we wanted to kind of jam about some of those challenges, right? And how ACV is helping out dealers and partnering with dealers in solving some of those, right? So let's talk about some of the complexities of consumer acquisition, because we all have to deal with it. There's no way of getting around it, right? If we don't have a strategy and we're just winging it, it's not enough anymore. We had to be intentional about this. So.
Yeah, I think a couple things. One, obviously, is you can no longer just put a sign out that says you're open and expect things to happen. It just doesn't work that way anymore. The days of how many people walked in, how many ups did you take? That's kind of a thing of the past. And consumer acquisition, I look at it two things. Consumers getting the consumer in, and getting the consumer to come in your store, and then the other consumer is acquiring that consumer's vehicle, whether they're going to trade it in or not. So I think there's twofold on consumer acquisition. The first one is, if you don't give them information, they're not going to come in.
Yeah, if you're not transparent with them,
it's got to be the right information. It can't be too much information. You look at some of the marketing that's out there these days. You go to a website, you look at the car, whether it's the first party, it's the dealer's website, or they're posted on somewhere else.
Sure.
And you look at it's like power windows, power steering, power locks. Really? You're still doing. I walk into stores like, really, you still
That's
doing
still a thing. That's still a thing.
Nobody. I don't know of any car this day and age that doesn't have power steering. So why talk about it?
No kidding.
Talk
right?
about things like they're getting so complicated on the build stuff. Going back to the days of COVID when they didn't have the right chips,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of the accessories were no longer accessories because they couldn't work. So when consumers are looking at a new used vehicle, they want to look at it new or used. They want to know what package that is.
Sure.
And what is that package worth? What is that? So you're looking at a 5-year-old car. It had a package that was maybe $7,000-8,000 on the MSRP.
And that is tough. I mean, I was just talking to a friend of mine who, just trying to put numbers on some of these vehicles that were coming out of COVID, because it's hard to know. You're right. I mean, like there were packages and trim levels that normally would have come with leather or navigation. And even though it is the same LT trim level, this one doesn't have it because it was a COVID. Like there's just some serious complexity to it.
And the base idea there is same kind of car, an LTZ Chevrolet truck and another
Sure.
LTZ. They could look exactly the same.
Yeah.
They could be priced radically different online, and you don't give the consumer the reason why.
And that's why I think it's so incredibly important for anybody out there watching and listening right now, that you really need to have a documented people, process, and technology strategy to execute this, because it's no longer just like an action, right? You can't just go through the motions like
No.
we used to be able to,
no.
right? So let's jam a little bit about that. What is your kind of perspective on like how do we approach this from a people perspective, process, and then ultimately what technology should we be looking at to help us kind of guide our people through this?
There's oh my gosh, that's we could be here. How much gas do we
I know,
have, Jason? I mean, this is going to be a long one.
That's the problem. I asked the big questions.
So a couple things, and I know there's all this. We probably want to talk about AI and all the tools that are out there today.
Yeah.
But it kind of starts in the beginning. It's like make sure you're clear and transparent on the vehicle itself, whether new or used. That doesn't matter.
Step one.
You have to be able to describe the vehicle as it truly is.
Yeah.
If again, you have two vehicles that look identical. One could have a package that makes it worth $4,000 more on the used market, and nobody knows that.
Yes. Exactly.
So which car are they going to call on?
100%.
Which button are they're going to click on the cheapest one? And your car's much better and probably priced much better based on the equipment, but the consumer doesn't know that. So get it right the first time. Make sure that you understand that you've disclosed that vehicle.
And I think you can't always rely just on the defaulted stuff, because I think a lot of us aren't being coded properly, right?
No, if you don't have the right, if you have the right systems, you can. But those are hard to get to because you got to get the build data, and there's very few systems. We use build data for our Max Digital marketing system. Yep. We have that build data built in.
Yes.
So it'll actually break down. In fact, we even use the build data on our wholesale marketplace in our ACV auctions. We use the build data so we can note to the wholesale purchaser, hey, this whatever.
And you have to, because I could be buying, like to your point, I could be buying that same car, that same trim, but it could be missing a $1,500 option.
Oh,
and I'm paying the same price.
You were in the business. How many times did you buy a car when back in the early days of online?
Yeah, I know.
And it's like, oh, that's the one I need to get there. Oh my God, that's a 2-wheel drive truck. I thought it was 4.
Me?
Like,
Come on, dog.
I
never made those mistakes.
We all made those rookie mistakes. We just never want to admit it. So you got to get the right system, get the right information out there, and then you got to pay attention. That sheet on the manager's desk. How many people did you talk to today? How far down the path did you get?
Yeah.
That's all digitized.
Yes.
You're not filling anything out. You're picking up that lead on the phone, and most people now, BDC, you're picking up that lead. You're doing everything you can to get that consumer to commit to coming in and seeing that car, making sure the car's ready and prepped. And let me tell you something, I've seen it happen, do not make an appointment with somebody with a car that does not exist. That is the kiss of death. We both used to do it all the time.
No, but to your point though, I mean, here's the thing, and I think everybody out there watching and listening, you guys know this too, right? Like the experiences of the dealership or the experience of that purchase, all right, is made and broken by little things.
Oh, 100%.
And just that little thing can just...
And we have to realize that it is 2025 and that, get them down here and flip them into another car. That I used to be pretty good at it. I know you were too, but it doesn't work anymore. consumers have more knowledge and more information than ever before. And if we don't come alongside of them to help them decide what vehicle is right for them and ensure them that the right vehicle, we have it for you, it's here, it'll be sitting out front with gas in it, cleaned up, ready for you to take a test drive to make sure it is the car for you.
And finally, how do you take your coffee?
Pardon me?
And how do you take your coffee when you get it?
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah, you want something hot or cold to drink.
Exactly.
No, it is definitely different. You have to make sure that vehicle's there. You have to be prepared for that customer to show up. No surprises.
Yes.
And what you tell them up front, what they see on your website, what you tell them up front, and if there's a trade involved, the valuation you put on the trade, that can't change.
No.
Because when they get there, that experience in the store has to be the same experience they had online, on the phone, and just it finishes up in the dealership, but not changed.
Yes.
That's the key. The second you flip something,
well, like I said, I mean, I think what you guys are hearing, me and Doug say here, is that, you know, yes, we understand the acquisition is complex. There's some inefficiencies in there, but the expectation of the customers these days is that it is an experience, all right? And, you know, if I'm selling you my car or if I'm buying a car from you, as a consumer, I'm expecting an experience, right? And that is all, like, experiences don't happen by accident, right? Like, we all know this. Like, we've all had great experiences. We've gone to a great hotel or a great restaurant. Like, we know that a great experience is intentional people and process.
yes, and it's practiced.
Right now, I want to get a little bit into the technology side, because you were talking a little bit about that, and I love going down rabbit holes, and I like that.
Okay,
right?
I'm in.
Because, you know, I think technology should be there to kind of enhance, all right, that people in that process and enhance that experience. And if the technology is not enhancing, guys, you got the wrong technology.
Absolutely.
So let's talk a little bit about how dealerships are kind of starting to use AI, because it's just, I don't want to call it a buzzword, but it is a buzzword.
It is a buzzword, and it's a fear word.
Right. Well, it's AI and data,
It's like,
right? Like those are the two kind of like, what am I supposed to do?
And you know, I've been doing this for almost 40 years, and AI and data is such a foreign thing to the industry.
Right.
It truly is, at least on the retail and wholesale side, not necessarily maybe the manufacturers. But first of all, you can't be afraid of it.
No.
And B, you don't really have to understand it. Meaning, I mean, we're in this car and we're rolling down the road.
Yeah.
Now, I did notice the tires were a little light on the tread in front, and there might be a small nail on the side. So that is good. I did a quick inspection before we left to be safe, because it is a rental.
Tell me you're an auction guy without telling me you're an auction guy.
Yeah, that's how it happens. It doesn't come out, right? You can't get rid of it. But point being is we don't know how this thing was built. We didn't see it get built. But we know when we push that start button, it's going to go and it's going to take us where we want.
100%.
That's what I preach this to the dealers. Guys, don't worry about how AI happens.
Yes.
Just worry about how you can use it to make yourself some more money, make your customers happier. And it's in everything now. It's in our auctions.
Yeah.
It's in our inventory management. It's in customer acquisition. Talking about that, it's huge there.
Well, it's removing those inefficiencies we were kind of talking about.
Absolutely.
Right? So, you know, you saw the nail. I may not have saw the nail, right? You know, there's just there are tools out there that see everything and document everything, right? And AI is being used in a lot of different ways. But again, like, I think for anybody out there watching, listening, you need to have that people and process it first,
yes,
and then work back towards the technology to ensure it works for you. Wouldn't you say so?
100%. And I think that you know the where the people come in first, I think, has changed.
That's a good point.
Because you'll get a consumer literally online, and they're chatting. They think they're chatting with Bob, but they're chatting with a bot, not a Bob.
Yeah.
And these things are getting so good.
Oh yes.
That you don't know that. And they're even doing the, I think they call it avatar thing, right? So you're looking on the screen and it looks like you're talking to somebody. It is a human, and somehow they've manipulated that video to get the mouth and the actions to match what they're saying. It is amazing. So the consumer might think they're in, but they tell you that I'm a bot.
Yes.
Hey, I'm Bobby the bot. And
well, it's just all about efficiencies.
Correct.
Day, right? Like,
but then when's that handoff happen from the bot to the that's when it's got to be consistent.
100%. And, you know, it has to be consistent. And again, that has to be coming down to a process, right? And if you guys are looking at working with a company out there, like I said, come with that process and let the technology company kind of work around that. And I'm glad that you brought up the hand up, because again, you know, it's just a trend I'm seeing in our industry right now. It's like we almost kind of like lost the art of the handoff.
Oh,
You know, right now I call it more of like the dump.
yes.
Because it's not really kind of a handoff.
Oh,
It's
is that
like,
an internet
it's
lead?
like, oh, let me just throw it over there.
I don't want to talk that internet lead. There's no gross in them things.
Right?
I mean, that those days have to just go away. We have to follow the process, whatever that process is, and it's not always the same in every dealership.
No.
It could be, and we can maybe talk that later. But it's not going to be the same in every single dealership. But whatever it is, do the same every time. Don't change it up in the middle. Don't change up what you're saying to the customer. Bobby the bot told the customer one thing, and Sam the salesman tells them something totally different.
Yeah.
You're done. The trust is gone, the transparency is gone, and you're going to lose a customer. I'll give you a couple good examples.
Yeah.
We have what we call Clear Car. It's our way of helping our dealer partners acquire vehicles from the consumer. As you know, I'm sure you've seen the pie charts where it used to be new car dealers used to have a small sliver of acquisition from the
It's changed.
from the street, and the used car dealers used to have the bigger piece of that pie, right? Well, now the franchise dealers are really expanding that pie, and for that matter, so the independents. But if you have a consumer go online and it says, I want to buy your car, and they click that button and they go through the process, I've seen some of these processes like, where would we get a lunch break? Right? I have to take a lunch break to get through the process of getting a price on my car. So it's got to be timely. It's got to be easy.
Yeah, I shouldn't have to give up my first name, last name, email address, blood type, firstborn, and shoe size.
Well, firstborn we can have. It depends on the kid, I guess. But literally, some of these are just way too long, way too complicated. We have what we call Clear Car. We've made it very simple, and we used AI to help us figure this out. It's literally a few questions about your car. It is click this button. It will send a little link onto your cell phone. It will walk you around the car. It tells you what pictures to take. It takes the photos. You square it up. Okay, take that one. I got this one.
I'll guide you through the process.
I'll get this all done. Less than 2 minutes of taking pictures. I think you can wrap the whole thing up in less than 5. And the number, guess who helps us decide what that number should be on the value? Mr. AI.
Of course.
That's
technology being used to create a clean, better experience. And for dealers out there watching and listening right now, guys, if you're listening to us talk about this and you don't have a process, there really isn't an excuse anymore not to have a documented process, right? No. I mean, how easy is it to just kind of go to ChatGPT or Gronk or whatever of them out there and just say, hey, here's my idea of a process is, can you help me craft something out? And it'll do it in 5 seconds,
The new thing too, there's so many vendors out there. We're all vendors now here, right?
Yep.
There's so many out there, but what dealers don't realize is they have processes built into most of those systems. And look, those processes are probably not a guess. They've used technology, they use data, they use AI to get those processes in place. So start looking at how the current group of vendors you have can help you with that process. Streamline it. And going back to the other pieces at that process where the rubber meets the road on acquiring that vehicle, the process is the consumer walks through it themselves. Yep. They get a real price on the car based on the condition of that vehicle, because AI it knows all the dings and dents on that car, and it reminds the consumer when they go to get the price.
Yeah.
There's a dent in that right front fender. The rear bumper had a pretty good scratch in it.
The technology is communicating that to them, not a person, right?
The dealer's not taking the blame. The dealer's not. And when you get
that's a good process.
When the consumer gets to the store, there's been many years of the website said you're going to give me $10,000 for my car.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden, old school breaks out. They just can't help themselves. They walk out to the car and they go, "Oh my God, did you drive this car here? I can't."
Didn't you show up on a flatbed?
Did you put your family in this car in the last couple of weeks? You got to be kidding me! Look at the size of that. I mean, come on. There could be something maybe that the AI missed or the consumer didn't take the right picture. I get that part, but overall, you should be within a few $100 of what that, and don't change that number. If there's any way if you got to eat $100, eat the $100.
that little thing will demolish the experience.
You're done.
It'll just demolish the experience.
Hey, I was sitting getting a haircut one day, and the guy next to me said, I was going to buy a car, and it's not going to hear that, boom, my ear,
Of
radar.
course, if we're car people, that's what happens.
And he's telling the bartender, or the barber, he says, I went down, they told me it was going to be so much out the door, I went online, filled out all the paperwork, they told me it was going to be X amount of dollars out the door.
Yeah.
I get down there, and all of a sudden they throw in another $500 for this, another $1,000 for that.
Fee and this.
And I got up and I walked out, and I'm never going back. And I told all my friends that every time I meet them, I go, don't ever go to that dealership.
Oh, they're walking, talking, don't ever go there.
You can't change numbers. You can't change the expectation of the consumer.
Is transparency.
Get it up front.
Up front. Like, look, if you have it up front, and by the way, I know if you're listening to this, you are probably one of those individuals that do what me and Doug are already talking about, because that's the reason why you guys follow this content. But there are a fair amount of people out there that are still trying to play that game. And like the data shows that is just going to destroy the experience. Now, speaking of data, I would like to kind of go a little bit down that rabbit hole, because we touched a little bit on it, right? Is around kind of data, I don't know, efficiency, or how we're effectively using it, right? I mean, I think dealers right now they're being yelled at. Data.
Yeah.
You need to know you're in a gold mine, data. What does that actually mean?
Well, what do you want me to do with that pile of spreadsheets? Right? Nothing talks to each other. It's they're getting a little better. But here's the thing. It's so important to understand how that affects your store. I'll give you another example. Mm-hmm. When I went to work for ACV, I walked in 6 years ago or so, I walked in the office. And it's like, hi, I'm Dr. So-and-so. Hi, I'm Dr. So-and-so. And I'm like, doctors everywhere in here. And they're all kids. Like, how can you be a doctor when you're 15 years old? This just makes no sense to me. Yeah. But they're doctors of data science.
Yes.
Doctors of data. I'm like, why do we have doctors of data science? A couple of years ago, NIADA, they said, Doug, we have ACV estimate. I go, great. What's that? Well, that's what the car is going to sell for wholesale.
Okay.
Come on. I've been doing this for 40 years. We don't know what the car is going to sell for. Yeah, we do, Doug. What are you talking about? We have so much data. We go out, we have, 1,000 or so inspectors in the field, vehicle condition inspectors. They inspect vehicles using our ACV application that's just pumped with AI. But you can't have the inspector to use it, right? So that's tied together. So we do all these inspections. We have millions and millions of inspections, more than anybody on the planet, that we've recorded engine noise.
Yes.
We have scanned the belly of the vehicle. It looks like it's up in the air when it's not. Done all the photos on the outside, all the photos in the inside, and all those are called condition adjusted prices.
Of course.
And not just like is it
things
clean,
historically
extra clean, double.
We're not surprised by it. The data's there.
The data is there. So we take all that data and you say, this is all these cars, this is all the conditions, and we're launching this 2020 Camry.
Sure.
And I'm at NADA and I go, I don't want to do this, guy. Doug, it's okay, you can do it. I'm not going to do it. You can do it. They wanted me to put the ACV estimate up, and then show a live auction run online.
Oh, just to see how close it was.
And I'm like, nope, this is NADA. I'm not doing that. I mean, all I got is my reputation. So I don't know what it was. I forget what it was. I think it was a Camry. I said, guys, it's a 20-minute auction. It's down to 5 minutes. The ACV estimate is about what it was, $15,000. And here we go. I was going to start. I thought, should we start throwing bets? It was in Vegas.
Might as well, right?
Put some bets. And I was getting ready. I made sure the door to that room was open so I could make a quick exit when it was within $78 of the selling. I mean, how's that even possible?
Well,
we do it every day.
It's not a guess. Here's the thing, dealers, what you have to understand is that it's a predictive model, all right? And here's the thing, as dealers, guys, we've been doing this knowingly or unknowingly. You guys predict stuff all the time, all right?
Absolutely.
When we order inventory or when we go to an auction and buy inventory, we're predicting, all right, our ability to sell based on data that we have, like I know I do well with, Audi A4s under 50,000 miles, right?
But how well do you do?
Grand. Well, see, right?
And exactly what Audi model?
exactly. I'm basing it off whatever data I have to make that decision. Now, when you start talking about, let's include 16 other sources of data, all right, that I don't technically have access to, all right, it allows me now to predict and make those decisions just in a smarter way, right?
But it's without the data, it's a gut decision.
Exactly, and that's where I was going with that. Yeah.
And here's look, I did it for years. I would take the dealer's checkbook to the auction.
Yeah.
And I'd stand there in the lane, and here they come. And Doug, what's that car worth? Give me a second. I whip out the blue book out of I still have the blue jeans with the outline of the blue book in my back pocket. And it's 10.5, I guarantee it. It's sold for 11.8. I missed it, okay? I didn't want to go too high. But I missed the car I could have sold because I took the dealer's checkbook, I went to the auction, and based on my gut feel, I made a mistake. You can't do that anymore.
You can't, well...
And there's no need to do it anymore.
Well, I believe there's a business reason why we can't do it anymore. The margins aren't there. Margins compression, margins have tightened to the fact that we can't use our gut anymore. Because, for your point, you said 10.5. So that $1,200 swing that you had between your gut saying 10.5 and the 11.8 it sold, right? Like
that could have been the package we were talking about earlier. It could have been, who knows what it could have been, because I just watched the car run through the lane. 100%. I didn't do my homework. Now you got to do all your homework. I talk about inventory management. Back in the day, before there was inventory management, I started working for a company that AAX way back when. This is 20 plus years ago. Nobody even they couldn't even tell us what define inventory management for a dealership. Nobody could. So I looked at the dictionary didn't have it. You know what?
That's actually a good point.
You know what industry specialized in inventory management?
Walmart.
They were the number one until guess who came along is now the best? Amazon.
Okay, there we go. Yes.
And what do those two companies use to define inventory management? Their data.
100%.
And they have a plan. So I wrote it, and I've sent this out all the time. You have to have a plan before you write the check, before the ACH goes through, before however you pay for that vehicle. Whether it's a trade, whether you're buying it at the auction, whether somebody came in off the street, you have to have a plan to maximize profit, whether it's wholesale or retail, on every single vehicle.
You can't just leave it up to chance.
No.
Right? There has to be a legitimate strategy, a data-driven strategy around how you appraise, how you price, and how you inventory. What did you not say? I mean, those are those.
That's inventory management right there.
For the dealers out there watching and listening right now, I love kind of, making sure that in our podcast we have real kind of tactical take home, go do this.
Yes.
Right? And I think you can hear me and Doug saying is that you guys need to go document this right now. All right? You need to have a data-driven pricing strategy, all right, appraisal strategy, all right, and inventory strategy.
100%. And
now, I'm sure you've seen some examples of this play out well.
There's those guys that still use the gamble, guess, and gut program. They're not going to be around very long. The ones that are just, they're anal about it, right? They get so anal about it. They've got 3 screens up. They're buying cars from 3 different auctions live online. They're looking at their inventory every single day. We used to reprice our inventory when the car didn't sell or didn't get any, real action. You got to reprice that car every day. And sometimes when we're in with our ACV Max dealers doing presentations and then doing the install and working, when I tell them they have to increase the price of a car, they look at me like I got 2 heads. But the data says, no, you're not. The reason you're not getting any hits is because the car's too cheap. People don't believe you.
Yes.
So you raise the price of the car, and all of a sudden you can see your BDC just goes off the charts with that car. Well, so it's the data that tells you what that vehicle should be listed for. It's the data that tells you what you should pay for that vehicle, all based on condition and all based on not your gut feel, but not just the data from my store, but the data from other stores, data from other sources, data
from other sources.
And it's not what it used to be. There's no secret anymore. Every auction knows what every auction
finger in the wind and just
every piece of data is out there to gather. It's just the system you use to gather the data, how it presents it to you. We talk about all the data that dealers get hit with from all their different systems. Just pick one.
Well,
pick one and start using it.
It's overwhelming. It's
overwhelming. It is overwhelming.
And guys, we understand it's overwhelming. All right, there are vendor after vendor after vendor after vendor that just will You want data? You can buy data. I mean, this could be like an open window. You get data. You get data. You all get data. And that's why I think it's so incredibly important to make sure that when you are seeking a vendor or a data vendor, don't look for a vendor, look for a partner. Right?
100%.
And I know this might be a shameless plug for ACV, but no, seriously, guys. Like, you need to find a partner, right, that is going to really kind of work with you on this, because the data is always changing. When you say,
here's the deal: whenever you have a vendor, if they don't come in and they don't care, if they don't say, look, here's what we see, here's the things we think you should try. We don't want you to change your process. We don't want to change your people right now. We don't want to change any of that. But based on the data, based on your data, based on the data that we've gathered from hundreds and hundreds of sources, these are the things that we need to, and just take it one at a time. Don't jump in and try to change everything.
Good point.
Let's work through. Okay, let's get.
Maybe we start. Okay, so that's a good point. So we talked about strategies around data-driven strategies around appraisal, pricing, inventory. Which one of the three would you kind of recommend people should start with?
Oh, you got to start with acquisition.
Agreed.
Profit's always.
I figured you were saying that.
Yeah, the profit's always made at the acquisition. Make sure not only you're acquiring the cars that you need, meaning the cars that sell faster, higher gross profit, and that's repeatable. You could get back in the day, I bought a red Mustang, a convertible, I put it on the lot. Oh my God, we danced around, high-fiving each other because we had a 6-pounder or whatever it was that we used to, you remember.
Of course, I remember.
And that's just not possible. So I went out and I bought 3 more.
Yeah.
Guess what happened? I had to take them back to the auction. That wasn't a core vehicle for me. That was somebody driving by and I got lucky.
That's exactly what
there was no data involved. That was pure gut. I sold one, I made money, I went out and bought it. That wasn't data. Have to be consistent.
Yes. And you need a partner to help you be consistent. Someone that is going to maybe also hold you a little accountable. There's nothing wrong with that.
Accountable, right? And they also got to be a little, if they tell you something, don't take it personal.
No. And look, I think for dealers out there, ones that definitely watch and listen to this, they're good about that.
Yes.
Guys.
But it's hard to trust. It's really hard to trust a vendor. It's really hard to trust somebody that's not in your employ. And I tell my guys all the time.
That's why you got to do your research.
Yes.
Right? That's why you got to do your research, right?
I tell guys all the time, look, we want to be the dealer's partner. We don't want to be a vendor. We don't want to be a supplier. We don't even want to be an advisor.
There's tons of those out there.
And it's really hard for somebody to say my partner is bad. We want to be the best partner you ever had. We want to help guide you to profitability just based on the things that we know. You know a lot more than we do. It's your store, it's your data, but we bring in the other data. Yes. And we bring in best practice. I'm an industry advocate. I bring in best practices from all over the country. I've been blessed to be able to travel the country and see dealers everywhere.
That's the benefit of having a solid partner. And I love the fact, and I think this is kind of where I know we're getting towards the tail end of our conversation today, but I think if you kind of see the overall theme of what Doug and I are talking about, is that find that partner that's going to help you process your way to profitability.
Yes.
Right? Because it ain't just going to happen on its own. It is going to be a process.
Yep.
All right.
It's going to be efficient.
It's going to be efficient.
Transparent.
Right? It's going to be transparent, and you need a partner to do that. Hey, Doug, for everybody out there watching and listening right now who would maybe love to connect with you and just continue some parts of this conversation, because I know there's a lot that we still didn't necessarily talk about.
I love talking about the business.
What's the best way to connect with you?
You can email me at doug@acvauctions.com. That one's pretty easy. doug@acvauctions.com. You can text me. You can call me. I've had this number since I was at the auction. This phone was in a briefcase. It was so old. It's 949 area codes when I lived in Southern Cal.
Yeah.
949-751-9961. Give me a call. Give me a text. I mean, what else is there to talk about?
This is what Doug does, guys. You need to talk to Doug. Hey, for everybody out there watching and listening, we appreciate you. One of the biggest compliments you can give us as content creators is to share the show. It means so much to us. It's a monster compliment to us. If you have a manager, a colleague, or a friend that needs to see some portion of today's conversation, share the show. It means so much to us. Doug, thank you so much, man.
Jason,
this has been an absolute blast. For everybody out there, we love you. Thank you.
Have fun, sell cars, make some money.
There you go. Love it.